So this front page alone could consign Sir Keir Starmer's entire premiership to the bin. Abject failure as smuggling arrests fall under Labour. People smuggling arrests are down under Sir Keir Starmer's government. National Crime Agency data shows just 192 people were arrested for organised immigration crime in the year to April. That's down 16% from the 229 under the Tory government the previous year. So, with that in mind, does anyone believe this?
To go after the criminal gangs, to smash the gang networks.
To smash the smuggling gangs.
Smash the gangs.
To smash the gangs.
He promised it during the election. He's promised it more or less every single week since the election. In November last year, he announced an extra 75 million quid of your money to help police our borders, saying he would use counter-terrorism tactics to stop people smuggling gangs before they act. The government's own website said Prime Minister unveils game-changing investment to tackle national security threat from people smuggling gangs. He held an organised immigration summit in London in March to gather world leaders, and there he said this.
Migration is a massive driver of global insecurity. It undermines our ability to control who comes here, and that makes people angry.
He went on to say, it makes me angry, frankly, because it is unfair on ordinary working people who pay the price, from the cost of hotels to our public services struggling under the strain. He said it's unfair on the illegal migrants themselves, because these are vulnerable people being ruthlessly exploited by vile gangs. And by the way, can I just say, I think therein lies the problem, doesn't it? The psychology of our man in charge. He went on to say, so look, we must each take decisive action in our own countries to deal with this. Nobody can doubt that the people we serve want this issue sorted. But the truth is, we can only smash these gangs once and for all if we work together, because this evil trade, it exploits the cracks between our institutions, pits nations against each other, profits from our inability at the political level to come together. And that's why, from the moment I took office, we said the UK would convene this summit. OK, and here we are today. They've smashed fewer gangs than the party that went before them. In July this year, he put out a Facebook post saying, I'm working day and night to secure our borders, smash the gangs and make Britain a fairer, more secure country. And here we are. Arrests for people smugglers are down 16%. What are they playing at? We alone here at GB News have handed them several human traffickers on a silver platter. We know loads of them operate right here from Britain, right here. But there's a bigger point here. Since 2018, more than 170,000 illegals have crossed the English Channel. Do you know how many arrests we've had for human trafficking in the last 4 years? Just 912. Yeah. 912 people have been arrested for smuggling offences in the last 4 years. That's it. That includes the 192 in the year we've just had until April. Now, bearing in mind that clearly when they make arrests on a gang, that by definition will include several people, won't it? Let's just imagine that there's 10 people in every gang they've smashed. That would mean in the last 4 years, roughly 19 gangs have been arrested. That's it. It's pathetic, isn't it? What can the excuse for that possibly be? Britain is being invaded, and it feels like our PM feels that he can just get away with saying this and hoping that we don't notice.
Smash the gangs.
Ridiculous. And for all the additional tens of millions of pounds in funding, they appear to be doing precious little.
Do you want to save a boatload of cash this summer, wherever you have a trip planned? The one thing you're going to need is access to the internet and on the go. And you can do that easily with Saily. Hit the link in the description to get 15% off your first eSIM plan ready for your trip, so you can browse to your heart's content. Saily gets you a local SIM card you can use when travelling, so you don't have to pay those crazy roaming fees just to send a message or check the latest news. Now, they've got plans in over 160 countries, 8 regions, so pretty much everywhere, wherever you're going, they'll be able to make sure you're connected. So how does it work? All you've got to do is this. Hit the link in the description to download the app. It will work on iOS or Android. Buy a plan. You can choose an amount of data and time frame that suits you best. And then just install the eSIM on your phone. When you land at your holiday destination, you can activate your plan instantly. And if that wasn't enough, Saily eSIMs only ever have to be installed once. So when you go on your next trip, you just buy a plan for a new country, turn that eSIM back on, and boom, you're back watching me on GB News. I'll be using a Saily SIM on my next holiday because it's actually faster than some of the hotel Wi-Fis. You can get unlimited data if you want, so you can scroll away to your heart's content. And when you leave the hotel, you don't have to do that annoying thing of Wi-Fi hopping because you've got constant connectivity wherever you go. And they've got 24/7 support as well and a full refund policy if your eSIM isn't compatible. So get sorted for your next trip. Download Saily using the link in the description below. And if you use the code NEWS at checkout, you'll get an exclusive 15% discount on us. So click the link, download Saily, and use the code NEWS at checkout.
Let's get thoughts on my panel. We have got Director of Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood. We've got the senior political correspondent at the Daily Express, Christian Calgi, and broadcaster Nina Mishkov as well. So, Mark, firstly, pretty embarrassing stuff for Keir Starmer. Smash the gangs, and fewer are being smashed.
It's pathetic. The number's down from what was a pretty pathetic number anyway. You're right. And bear in mind, I mean, I think you were being a bit too kind on him, if anything, Patrick. These are merely arrests. Not charges, not prison sentences. It could be, I'm speculating, that we've arrested the same bloke 10 times. That will count as 10 times. If we haven't actually charged him and put him in prison. Absolutely feeble. I mean, for something which is now, let's face it, a national emergency, to be nicking somebody every other day, one person every other day, that's the sum total of what we're doing, basically. Every 48 hours, one person nicked. What on earth are Border Force doing? Looks to me it's like the interest in Calais is Tory frontbenchers and GB News presenters. Where the hell are Border Force? I mean, this is utterly pitiful.
How damaging is this for Sir Keir Starmer? Because, you know, you look at that, I mean, that is the headline that I think is the stuff of nightmares for him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a surprising headline because I wrote a very similar story a couple of weeks ago based on seemingly identical data that had been unearthed by Robert Jenrick. And what was very interesting when I put that to the Home Office and said, you know, why have these numbers fallen? What I got back was a Labour source quote, not a Home Office quote, which means that the Labour rebuttal contained facts that the civil service wouldn't sign off on because I don't think all of it was true. And I think Labour's defence is absolutely paper thin. It's like a sense, you know, nonsense, you know, attacking Robert Jenrick ad hominem, all sorts. By the way, the numbers that you've got, they are the worst for any year ever, excluding 2020 when there was a global pandemic.
Seriously,
honestly, and I actually feel
Boris Johnson was in charge.
Yeah, but that was also actually before the small boat crisis really kicked off, which was in 2021. I almost feel sorry for Keir Starmer.
70,000 under Boris Johnson?
Yeah, there were, but not in 2020. We can criticise Boris Johnson on exactly the same page. I won't take that away from us. But the point I was going to make, I almost feel sorry for Keir Starmer because this is a guy who genuinely believed that with the right and pure intentions and hard work, you could go into Downing Street and you could pull some levers and the British state would react. And unfortunately, I think his view, certainly the people around him, his closest advisors, has already crumbled. And they're already saying Dominic Cummings was right. The British state is useless. The civil servants don't do what we want them to do. They've got an agenda of their own. And I'm afraid that until they realise that, they tear the thing down.
Well, this is not a reason to feel sorry for him.
They pull out the ECHR. This is not going to get better.
Don't feel sorry for him. That's a grotesque political misjudgment.
We'll bring Nina in on this. This is really catastrophic, isn't it? The whole thing, smash the gangs, and here we are, the numbers are down. How can it be down, Nina, when we've got every other day an announcement on smashing the gangs? He's had an international conference here. He's pumped tens of millions, if not hundreds of £millions more in. He's talking about working with his European partners, getting close ties with the friend Germans to try to smash the gangs, and the numbers are down. How can that even be possible?
I agree the numbers are down, but on the other hand, what he inherited was a system and a trade that was already well established. And hopefully, because we have to hope that he's going to make it come right, because we've got another 4 years of this and somebody's got to get it right. That, you know, there's no good hoping that somebody else will come in. This is our government and they're going to be there for another 4 years, you know, unless there's some kind of catastrophe. So you have to say what he is doing hopefully will in the long run improve. The systems that he's putting in place, the sort of the relationships he's brokering with European countries will come through. You talk about why aren't border force there? Well, we haven't got French police on our streets in this country.
Well, people aren't fleeing from Dover to Calais.
No, never mind. Hang on a minute. What would the British people think if French police were allowed to come and investigate here? Well, they're not inclined because we're a sovereign nation, and therefore we can't just, you know.
We're paying them a lot of money. We're paying them a lot of money to police this.
Would you agree to French police coming in and?
If there was a massive problem of people fleeing Dover, yes.
No, you.
Yes, absolutely. They're our allies. No problem at all. We work with Interpol all the time.
Sorry, yes, we're not. But since Brexit, everything changed.
Well, we work with Interpol, the CIA, endless foreign agencies. Not a problem.
This is the thing, is because it's not actually, or hear me out on this. This isn't all Keir Starmer's fault. He's set himself up to fail by this relentless smash the gangs thing, Yvette Cooper, and actually this is shocking. And by the way, I think if we get the next round of figures in the next year, there are going to be massive calls for them to resign on this issue alone because they made it such a key issue. What the flipping heck are the National Crime Agency doing?
Well, quite. I mean, the problem is here, as you rather elegantly have shown a few times in this programme, they've got a soundbite. Smash the gangs. You might even say that's a policy, that they think that you think you can somehow police your way out of it without changing the sort of laws that Christian was talking about. I suppose you've got a soundbite and something approaching a policy. What's the actual plan? What are Border Force doing differently to a year ago?
Is the National Crime Agency there? This is the thing. So they are a big part of the people that are...
So what are they doing differently?
And this is what I don't understand. And I don't want to be unfair to the National Crime Agency because I imagine what they will say is that they don't just deal with this, they deal with things like paedophile rings, they deal with, you know, drug cartels, all of that. And I get that. And if they're anything like our police force at the moment, then they are overstretched, no doubt, and they've got the work cut out. But you do have to seriously wonder if this is the biggest issue facing Britain at the moment, which for a lot of people it is, and it is a spearhead of government policy.
Quite.
How can... And they've had millions, tens of millions...
What's the cost? What's the cost per arrest, right? 75 million quid extra for Border Force, as it was. What is it actually costing us per gang member arrested? An absolute fortune. Hundreds of thousands and hundreds of thousands.
But surely this will improve exponentially.
Why?
And the thing is, to be fair, and as I say, I too think that this is all disgraceful. To be fair, they've said that what they call disruptions, i.e. preventing boats going into the water and preventing it, has gone up by a third this year.
Right.
So they managed that much.
I don't think that adds up, really, because
more people are coming in.
On the one hand, we've got record high numbers coming into Britain, and at the same time, the number of illegal migrants entering Europe as a whole, I believe, is down 20,000 this year. So it's not that there's an even larger wave that's coming to Europe, and then we're getting the follow-on percentage of that. And the other problem is that for all the announcements, we've got this new head of border security that Yvette Cooper's appointed. We've got this new deal with Macron. We've got this new treaty with Merz of Germany. We're constantly having all these talks with Maloney and Turkey. The Tories, without all of that, managed to do more in terms of charging people smugglers. That's the low watermark. That's the base.
And we've fallen below it.
Failed to build on it.
You know what this is? This is a national embarrassment for a variety of different security services in Britain. If you are able to outfox the entire might of the British intelligence state by changing your phone regularly, using a burner phone, changing your number, doing all that stuff, maybe just drifting around locations, whilst continually bringing a tidal wave of illegal immigrants into this country, then what message does that send out to us about the rest of the world?
Yeah, quite. I mean, my impression...
I agree it's dreadful.
It's appalling.
You have to hope that what is being set in place now will somehow...
But what's that hope based on, Nina? I mean, I'd like to hope that, but there doesn't seem to be any evidence for it.
Well,
I can't think of anything we're doing differently to tackle this problem.
You can't set up systems...
But what's the change? What's the big change they're making?
Some of those systems
what's the big change?
Monitoring people on social media, getting their details and then going and arresting
I agree, and that should all be being done. But we were talking about the relationships with say France, with Germany, with Syria even. You know, Rishi Sunak did a very good deal with Albania, so that really worked. That's cut that back a lot. So Lamy has gone to Syria, and we may get the same reciprocal.
I think we've got to focus a lot more on enforcement and a lot more on the actual legal system in this country. If we don't change those, don't expect anything to change.
Enforcement of drug policy. You can't stop people taking drugs if you only try and smash the gangs. You've got to have the deterrent for the users as well, because the demand
is huge.
So huge that you can smash a gang and it will immediately be replaced by another one.
One of the things you need to stop people wanting to come here is because they can disappear into...
Well, they don't need to disappear. We give them free stuff as a matter of policy.
So did the French.
We give them free stuff. That's our policy. It's not identifying them.
What Sir Keir Starmer quite skillfully did by saying he was going to smash the gangs was he opened up an avenue for him to be able to say that he's going to do things here that will be invisible to a lot of us. We will not be able to see all the work that's going on behind the scenes. But that has been shattered today by the figures being released that those gangs are not being smashed.
That's right. The numbers are the numbers of the numbers, right? And look, I do have some sympathy when Nina says, look, the Labour Party did not have a golden inheritance, but we are a year on now.
A year is not a long
It is. You should be able to... Well, he should be... Well, hang on, Nina. He should be able to at least explain what big things he's going to change. And there are none. None.
I get the hotel issue is a Tory hangover, but on this issue, they should have at least in their first year been able to match the number the Tories were doing, if not improve on it, and they've gone backwards.
It's not good enough, but you have to believe.